A professional services firm I worked with spent $180,000 on an AI workflow automation platform. 6 months later, they turned it off. Not because the technology was bad, but because the workflows they automated were already broken. They just didn't know it yet. Sadly, this meant that the investment was doomed before the purchase order was ever signed. Not only that, the failure was almost guaranteed before they ever started, well before the vendor was even selected. And most firms are making this exact same mistake right now. My name is Inga, and I help firms validate their operational readiness so their AI and tech investments actually work. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what your firm can do to avoid the pitfalls of those other firms and make your next automation attempt not only succeed, but also return your investment. Every managing partner I talk to lately is under the same pressure. Competitors are claiming efficiency gains while partners are worried about margins. So leadership does what seems logical. They start evaluating tools and running pilots and building automation workflows. But here's what almost nobody stops to ask. Is our firm actually ready for this? Not the technology, the firm. Because when you plug AI into an unstable operation, you don't get transformation. You get expensive, high-speed dysfunction. Broken processes don't fix themselves just because a machine is running them. They just break faster and they break louder. And the research backs this up. Rand Corporation found that more than 80% of AI projects fail, which is roughly twice the failure rate of comparable IT projects that don't involve AI. And McKinsey's most recent survey shows that 88% of organizations now use AI in at least one function, yet only 39% see any EBIT impact at all. So we know that the tools are spreading quickly, but unfortunately, the returns aren't. The gap between adoption and actual value keeps widening, and professional services firms with billable hour models are the group that feels this pressure more acutely than most. Most firms evaluate AI readiness by asking the wrong questions. They ask things like, which tool should they buy, or how much will it cost, or whether it will integrate with their existing stack. And that's not to say that these aren't valid questions, but the problem is that these are implementation questions and not operational readiness questions. This is why so many automation projects quietly fail, even when the technology itself works exactly the way it should. The real questions that need asking aren't about the tool at all. It's about the foundation the tool is about to sit on. Think of it this way. You wouldn't pour a new concrete floor onto a cracked slab and hope it holds. But that's exactly what firms are doing when they buy AI or other automation tooling before they thoroughly understand their own operations and the invisible glue holding them together. A Gallup study found that only 15% of US employees say their workplace has communicated a clear AI strategy, which is another indicator that more firms are buying tools before they figured out what they're actually trying to fix. And if you want to hear my take on AI strategy and what's amiss with that approach, you can check out this video here. AI is a tool via the link in the description below. McKinsey's survey also shows that organizations reporting significant financial returns from AI are twice as likely to have redesigned their end-to-end workflows before they ever selected a modeling technique or a vendor. That means the winners don't start with the software. They start with the work. For several months now, I've been seeing the same patterns across firms that are ready to use AI. Some were genuinely ready, but most weren't. Eventually, I realized that we needed a better way to evaluate whether firms were actually ready for AI or digital transformation as a whole. That's when I developed FORI, or Firm Operations Readiness Index, which evaluates your firm across 3 dimensions: process integrity, technology and investment readiness, and decision and outcome accountability. Using these 3 dimensions, you can benchmark them to understand your firm's readiness to take advantage of an AI or tech investment. 4i is grounded in recognized frameworks like NIST AI Risk Management Framework and Microsoft's AI Readiness Assessment. But to make it more practical, I built a short 4i assessment that allows firms to benchmark themselves before making major technology investments. After you complete it, you'll see exactly which areas are solid and which ones need attention first. You don't have to be a tech expert to use it. You just need to be honest about how your firm actually runs. One of the most important things FORI looks for is whether your workflows, be they manual or otherwise, can run without constant heroics. Answering that single question changes everything about how you shop for technology. And the principle underpinning this is something that I call capability stability. What that tries to establish is if your firm's mix of people, process data, and governance can deliver consistent results without relying on heroic effort or on documented workarounds. Most firms can't answer this honestly. They have processes that only work because certain people are constantly intervening. When I mentioned earlier about invisible glue, I talk more about it in depth in this video here, Your Most Dangerous Process, and I'll put the link to it in the description below. Their data lives in spreadsheets or an assortment of files in disparate tools instead of a system. And even if they have a system, the systems that they do have can't talk to each other, let alone anything else. On top of all that, decision rights that are meant to maintain oversight and accountability are unclear or they're constantly being overridden. When you introduce AI or automation into an environment like this, you don't remove the problems. You multiply them. The automation runs at machine speed, like we've talked about before, and the exceptions and the judgment calls and the hidden workarounds that are behind that process, suddenly they all disappear. The damage reaches clients faster than it ever did before because of this. Imagine a billing workflow where a senior associate always catches a duplicate entry before it goes out. Nobody's documented this step though because it was never part of the original process. It's something that just evolved. Then this associate goes on vacation when the new system is implemented and it fires out 200 incorrect invoices in under an hour. That's not a technology failure. That's a capability stability failure. And it happens more often than many partners want to admit. It's the reason why some firms are spending six figures and more on AI and ending up with worse client outcomes than they had before as well. In Alvarez and Marcel's research on data pitfalls, they highlight how anomalies in historical data sets and cross-system discrepancies and poor data quality consistently undermine AI projects before they ever reach production. I'm sure you can see the pattern here. The technology is rarely the problem, like I've been saying all along. It's the foundation that really needs the reinforcement. Here's what this means for your next technology investment. If your operation isn't stable, every dollar you spend on AI or automation carries hidden risk. The truth of the matter is, when you invest in automation, you're not buying efficiency, you're buying speed. Any efficiencies you gain out of that investment depend on the stability of the flows you're automating. And speed without stability is just dangerous. This is why I now tell firms to take the FORI assessment before they finalize any technology budget. Not after the vendor has already presented the demo, not after the board has already approved the spend, before. Because once the money is committed, reversing course becomes financially and politically expensive. Leaders have already defended the spend to the board. The vendor relationship is active, and admitting the foundation wasn't ready feels like admitting a mistake nobody wants to own. Deloitte's research on AI ROI highlights this real paradox. Most organizations expect payback on technology investments within 7 to 12 months. Yet, satisfactory returns on a typical AI use case are being achieved in roughly 2 to 4 years. Only 6% of respondents reported payback in under a year. In the meantime, Gartner forecasted last year that worldwide spending on generative AI alone would reach $644 billion, which is a 76% jump from the year prior. That's a lot of money to be chasing returns that most firms aren't structurally ready to capture anytime soon. If your firm is in that gap between wanting AI and being ready for it, assessing your FORI is the fastest way to close it. If you're currently planning an AI or automation initiative in the next 3 to 6 months, I strongly recommend you understand your firm's operational readiness first. You can take the FORI assessment using the link in the description. You'll get a quick read on your process integrity, technology and investment readiness, and decision and outcome accountability, revealing where your operation is stable versus not, so you know what to fix before you spend any money. And if after or even before the FORI you'd like to debrief your specific situation, book a 15-minute consult. The link to that is also in the description. One short conversation before you do anything else could prevent you months of expensive rework. If you've watched to this point and it's changed how you're thinking about your firm's readiness, drop the word FORI or FORI in the comments below. I'll read every single one. And if this helped you see something you hadn't noticed before, Like the video and subscribe so more people can benefit from content like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next time.